Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahawashi, Bahasham Rakahakodash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahawashi. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video, and I'm going to start it off in Matthew chapter 24, verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, that he, speaking of Yahawashi Hamashiach, whom the world ignorantly refers to as so-called Jesus Christ, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? And while Yahawashi was speaking to his disciples in the past, telling them the signs to look for, to know when his second coming would be, and what would be the end of the world or the age of the rulership of the heathen nations, Yahawashi was really speaking to his disciples who were living today in the times of his second coming and in the times of the end of the world or age of the rulership of the heathen nations, now chiefly of the Edomites, or the so-called white people. As it says in Romans chapter 15, everything written aforetime was written for our learning, and the signs Yahawashi told his disciples to look for are, as it says down in verse 7, For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. And if you've got that spiritual eyesight, you can clearly see that these end-time signs Yahawashi told his disciples to look for are either taking place or in the process of taking place as we speak. And the sign I'll be dealing with in this video are the pestilences. This is an article on endoftheamericandream.com titled, Has the next major pandemic already started? Has the next major pestilence already started? A new mystery illness in India is killing dozens of people. Hey, just another example of prophecy taking place right on time. And whether this mystery illness in India is a short little flare-up or continues into something much bigger, just know that this is all the beginning of sorrows, and these pestilences, as well as all these other end-time signs, are going to increase and get more deadly as we get closer and closer to Yahawashi's second coming. As it says back in Matthew chapter 24, verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. So you better buckle up, because this roller coaster ride's about to get a hell of a lot bumpier. Many have talked about the next pestilence in theoretical terms, but could it be possible that it is already here? The mainstream media in the United States is not talking about the outbreak of a very alarming mystery disease in India yet, but if it continues to spread, they soon will be. Dozens are already dead, and the death toll just continues to rise. Top health authorities in India are insisting that there is no reason to panic, but that is what Chinese authorities told us at the beginning of the Divox situation too. There is still so much that we don't know about this outbreak, but in this article, I'm going to share with you what I've been able to find out so far. Up to this point, all of the cases that have been reported have come from the northern state of Uttar Pradesh. The following comes from a British news source. A mysterious illness is rapidly spreading through a northern state of India, killing dozens of children as well as adults. As the country slowly recovers from the deadly second wave of Divock, the deaths in Uttar Pradesh have provoked panic among hospital doctors. Firozabad appears to be the epicenter of the outbreak, and it is hitting children particularly hard. The situation is alarming in Firozabad. There are long queues of parents with wailing children in front of pharmacies and hospitals. Many want their children to be admitted. The district hospital looked overwhelmed, reminiscent of the panic outside medical centers during the second wave of Divock. But this time it is largely children who are afflicted, tugging at the corner of their mother's saris, burning with fever and crying of pain. These parents are in a race against time because children are dropping dead at a staggering rate. One young mother named Ruby was desperately searching for someone to help her 2-month-old daughter when one reporter encountered her. One of them, Ruby, was running around with her 2-month-old daughter, Kamal, looking for help. The baby was frothing at the mouth. Ruby said the girl was growing weak by the minute. Her platelet count is low, but the hospital wants another test. I just want her to be admitted, but nobody is listening, she cried. Most parents were armed with paracetamol, vitamin tablets, and hydrating solutions. At least 50 of them closed around the Prince team and begged for help. They are asking us to line up patiently when our children are dying. Some of us are being asked to go to private facilities. This is mistreatment, one of them said. Can you imagine how you would feel if you were in that mother's position? I've been trying to determine exactly how many people have died so far. One report that I came across said that 45 children and 8 adults had already been killed by the mystery illness. According to local media reports, 53 people have died, including 45 children. As of Thursday, 186 people, mostly children, had been admitted to the hospital, with many suffering from a high fever. Uttar Pradesh State Chief Yogi Adityanath visited the hospital on Tuesday at the Firozabad District Hospital and has now set up an inquiry to look into the deaths and reasons behind the spread of this mysterious illness. But that appears to be old information, because then I came across a report that indicated that the death toll had risen to 56. At least 56 people, most of which are children, have died following a mysterious fever outbreak in Uttar Pradesh, a state located in northern India. The yet-to-be-determined condition has symptoms including high fever, joint pains, headaches, dehydration, and nausea, as well as some cases of rashes across the upper and lower limbs. A report from the Times of India is telling us that at least 70 have died now, and by the time you read this article, the death toll will almost certainly be even higher. All the victims are being tested for Divok, and so far, no link has been found between the two illnesses, so that has been pretty much ruled out. Some experts are suggesting that dengue fever or Japanese encephalitis could be causing this outbreak, but others are dismissing those theories because the severity of this outbreak seems to indicate that this mystery illness is something entirely new. Outbreaks of dengue fever and Japanese encephalitis are fairly common and are fairly easy to deal with, but in this case, hospitals in Uttar Pradesh are being absolutely overwhelmed and many children are dying very quickly. The mystery illness is putting a particular strain on hospitals in the city of Firozabad. Nita Kul Shrestha, the most senior health official of Firozabad district, said the patients, especially children in hospitals, are dying very quickly. So let's take a moment to review what we know. This is a mystery disease that is confounding the experts. It appears to have a very high death rate, and it causes sores on the skin across upper and lower limbs. That certainly seems to check a lot of boxes. Let us hope that this new mystery disease can be contained, because we definitely do not want any more children to die. One father has tragically lost 3 of his kids already. Sarvesh Kumar looks too tired to mourn. He buried 3 of his 5 children last week, all lost to a mysterious viral fever that has scourged through Firozabad, leaving 39 dead and 32 of them being children. The laborer stared vacantly as he recounted the deaths of Akash, 3 years old, Ramu, 7 years old, and Mohini, 10 years old. He told the print, "The district hospital refused to admit Ramu, even as I begged them to. I knew my son was very sick, but they asked me to take him to Agra. Ramu died on the way on my lap. And when I returned to the hospital after burying him, my Mohini was gone too. So was Akash. Whether it happens now or later, we know that it is inevitable that more pandemics are coming. That's exactly what's coming. As it said back in Matthew chapter 24, verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. We're just in the beginning stages of it right now, and it's only going to get worse and more deadly, and even many more people are going to die off as we get closer and closer to Yahushai's second coming and the end of this age or world of the rulership of the heathen nations. That's it with this article. But now I'm going to close it out in 2nd Esdras chapter 16, verse 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Pray and hope that you're an Israelite of that elect number, and that you'll have that protective hedge of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai over you for when all these destructive calamities of Jacob's trouble really pop off. Verse 19, behold, famine and plague, pestilences, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment, scourges for judgment, scourges for punishment, scourges for correction, all the will of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai to punish you people on this planet for all the wickedness you've been committing, chiefly you Edomites or so-called white people, and 2/3 of the nation of Israel, which consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are hard-headed and have refused to return back under your power. So that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim are edified. Just keep strong and keep pushing this word. We're almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Mabal, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.